Hello students, today we are going to discuss about journal entries. In this class, I'll explain you the need of journal entries, different type of accounts and what are the golden rules which need to be followed to prepare the journal entries. So let's start with an example. For example, you are going to start a business, restaurant business for example. So if you're starting a business, what are the different type of expenditure or different type of items or transactions you are going to do? So if you're going to start a restaurant business, definitely you may take a shop where you may pay rent. Okay, once you pay rent, once you take the building or the floor, what you're going to do next, you're going to buy kitchen equipments. After that, you may buy raw material like vegetables, grocery items, and etc. Then you need to pay salary also to your employees. And if extra money is required, if you don't have sufficient capital, what you will do, you will borrow money from the bank as well. Now question is, to keep a record of all this, we need to note down somewhere, right? So like our personal expenses, we note down in a note or maybe in a diary. Okay, but when it comes to business, this needs to be recorded correctly, and this recording process is called as accounting. Okay, now how do we record? So we will record based on the transactions, but there is a language which is used for recording, that is called as journal entries. Okay, so we'll go step by step to understand how to identify different accounts and how to post these journal entries. Now let's start about type of accounts. What are the different type of accounts we have? The first one is personal account. Okay, so personal account, by the name of personal, you could know that this relate to a person, right? So here personal account has three part. The first one is natural person. What is natural person? It is about human being, correct? For example, Ram's account, Sachin's account. So when a business deal with any individual, and if the business want to record in that account, then those person are called a natural personal account, correct? Let's take an example. Suppose you have bought material for the business from Ram on credit, correct? You have taken on credit. So in future or after the credit period, you have to pay back to Ram, right? So here you are dealing with Ram and you have to pay Ram, right? So Ram is the person here. So what is the account? It is natural person account. Okay. Second is artificial person. By the word artificial, you can know that it is not a person, but it is an artificial person. And generally artificial person are who have existence in the eyes of law. That means it is created by law and it will dissolve by law as well. For example, Reliance Industries, it is a company. Tata Motors, it's a company. State Bank of India, correct? So these are few examples which are relating to artificial person. Okay, the first one was natural, which is human being. The second one is artificial person. Now the third one is representative person. So you can say by the word representative means it is representing person or a group of person. Sometimes what happens, we can't account for each individual accounts, right? For example, salary payable account. Like for example, in Reliance Industries, they may have people like 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh employees. So the company can't create account for each and every employee. So what they will do, they'll create an account like salary payable account, which will be representing the person. So this representative person also is part of the personal account. The second one is impersonal account. So that was mostly about personal. This is impersonal. Impersonal account, we have two types. One is real account, one is nominal account. When it comes to real accounts, this generally covers all the assets of the company or business. Okay. So when we talk about assets, it can be of two types. One is tangible, one is intangible. Tangible means these assets can be touched and seen, correct? You can feel it. So what are the different examples for tangible assets? It could be building, machineries, furniture, computers, etc. So these are all tangible. You can touch and you can see them. Another type is intangible, where these assets creates value for the business, but you can't see them. It is not visible, nor you can touch them. So what are the examples here? It could be patent, copyright, technical know-how, or a software which is developed by the company. Now coming to the other side, nominal account. Nominal account includes all expenses and income. Okay. Example, salary, rent, professional fees paid to consultants, revenue, sales, etc. So these are all nominal account, and these are all real account. Real account is tangible, intangible, nominal is expense and income. Okay. Now let's take few examples. Rent paid. Okay. So when we talk about rent paid, here we have two portions. Rent paid, so paid as cash. So if it is paid as cash, this is real account, right? Because cash is an asset. Rent paid, rent is an expense, hence it is a nominal account. So now I am trying to explain you how to identify different accounts. Then it will help us to understand the golden rules as well, how to apply the rules to make the journal entries. Let's take another example. Machinery sold to Suresh on credit. Machinery sold to Suresh on credit. So here machinery is a real account, right? Machinery is a real account. It is an asset for the company. And Suresh, okay, Suresh is a person and it is a person account, right? Personal account. Money not yet received. So the transaction is on credit. Now, for example, if we would have received cash instead of credit, if we would have received in cash, then we would have dealt with cash, which is a real account. So the transaction will give a clarity that what type of accounts we were dealing in that particular business transactions. So in this case, machinery and Suresh, and if we would have received cash, it would be machinery and cash. Now we have understood that there are two types of accounts, personal and impersonal. Impersonal has two portions. One is real account and one more is nominal account. Now let's understand double entry system. Okay, what is double entry system? So the accounting language is journal entry, and journal entry has to be prepared in double entry system. So every transaction has two aspects. One account is debited and the other account is credited. Okay, so this is the complete rule for journal entry. One debit, one credit. Okay, let's take an example. Goods worth rupees 4,000 sold to Ram for cash. Cash account debited 4,000 to sales account 4,000. So how to derive this debit and credit we'll learn in subsequent class. But for the time being, you can see that this is how the journal entry is prepared. One debit, one credit. There could be multiple debit, multiple credit, but the amounts has to match. The debit amount and the credit amount should match. You can't have a case that you have 4,000 here and 3,500 here. It has to match. Okay. Now let's get into the rules. How do we know what has to be debited and what has to be credited? So to know the rules, we have to understand that different account has different rules. So we'll start with personal account. So in personal account, we know that there are three types of personal account, but here the rule applies same for the three types of personal accounts. So personal account, under personal account, what is debit? The receiver, the person who is receiving the benefit from the business. Okay. So when I make payment to someone, the person who is receiving will be debited. That account will be debited. And credit is the giver who is going to give to the business. Okay. He's the giver. So giver is credit. Let's take an example so you can understand in a better way. If goods are purchased from Vikas on credit, then he is the giver, right? So Vikas account will be credited. Here Vikas is giving the goods on credit. So if it is on credit, I have to note down in my books of accounts that whom I have to pay in future, right? So I have to pay to Vikas. Okay. So Vikas has to be credited because he is the giver. Now after credit period, that means once it is due for payment, when payment is made to Vikas, he is the receiver. Hence, Vikas account will be debited. So when I make payment to Vikas, that time he will receive cash from the business. Hence, because account will be debited. Okay. Now, let's come to the next account, that is real account. So, under real account, what is debit? What comes in? That means when the asset comes inside the business or into the books of accounts, it is called as debit. Correct? And what goes out is the credit. Okay, so when asset comes inside the business, it is debit. When asset goes outside of the business, it is called as credit. Let's take an example. Purchased machine for rupees 10,000 in cash. Machine comes in, right? What happening here? Purchase machine. So machine is coming to the business. So your asset is increasing, right? So machine comes in. So it is debit. Cash goes out. Because this 10,000 rupees cash what I have to pay to the supplier. I have to pay to the vendor. In that case, cash goes out. So it is credit. So what is the journal entry here? Machine debit to cash credit. After real account, the last account is nominal account. Under nominal account, we know that we talk about expense and income. So here all debits are expense and losses. All credit are income and gains. Very simple to remember. All expense and losses are debit and all income and gains are credit. Let's take an example. Salary paid to employees. Here salary is an expense, right? Salary paid to the employees. Hence, salary account will be debited. So wherever you see expenses, by default it is debit. Wherever you see as an income or an gain, by default it is credit. So to have more clarity, let's go through few journal entries so that we will understand how the entries are posted. Example 1. ABC company purchased computer for rupees 10,000 in cash. Correct? ABC company purchased computer for rupees 10,000 in cash. So first question I should ask is, what purchased? Correct? What ABC company purchased? The answer is computer. So computer is an asset. So it is a real account, right? And this computer is coming into the business or going outside the business? It is coming into the business. So what comes in? It is debit. Correct? Now, purchase in cash or credit. If you see the transaction, it says that paid in cash. Correct? So if it is paid in cash, cash is an asset. It falls under real account. So cash is going out or coming inside? It is going out of the business. Correct? So what goes out is the credit. So what is the journal entry we are going to post? Computer account debit. What comes in? 10,000. To cash, what goes out? 10,000. Now let's take the same example. If purchased on credit from Mr. XYZ, that means instead of cash, you are buying this computer on credit from Mr. XYZ. So here cash is not going out, but the business has to pay Mr. XYZ in later point of time, right? So XYZ is the creditor. That means he has given us the computer on credit, correct? And XYZ is a personal account, right? It's a personal account, artificial personal account. So he is the giver. He has given the machine, right? What he has given to the company? He has given machine. So he is the giver. So credit will be given to XYZ. So computer's account debited to XYZ account credited of 10,000 rupees. So in this part 1, whatever I explained is most about your traditional way of accounting, or you can say traditional golden rules which are followed to prepare the journal entries. In the part 2 video, I am going to explain you about the new techniques used, or you can say profit and loss account and balance sheet method, how the journal entries has to be prepared, which will be quite interesting and easy to learn. So catch you in part 2. Thank you.